Hello, humans. Ratios and rates. Let's start here. Ratio is just a way to compare two quantities, and usually by division. So this is a 3 to 4 ratio, also written 3 to 4, also written 3 to 4, but all read in this manner, 3 to 4. Now, if you have something like 3 people for every 2 donkeys, an equivalent ratio could just simply be doubling the current one. This means that for every 6 people you have, you would need, to maintain the same ratio, you would need 4 donkeys. Yay! This ratio stuff is pretty easy. Well, let's get specific. A rate is a ratio, a type of ratio, that measures two quantities in different units. So that's your classic 20 miles per 1 hour. That's the same as saying 20 miles per hour. Right? And that's what a rate is. It relates two ideas, two different quantities of measurement, miles and hours. Now, a unit rate is something a little different. A unit rate is a rate that's expressed in its simplest form, where the denominator is 1. And now you can say things like per or for every. Just like up here, this is actually a unit rate because you have 20 miles per every 1 hour. Notice the denominator is 0. The denominator is 1. All right, well, let's give a short example here. If you have $66 for every 12 people, what does that really mean? How many per every 1 person? Well, in order to achieve 1 on the denominator, because that's what helps us define a unit rate, 1 in denominator, we'd have to divide this sucker by 12 on the bottom to achieve a 1 here. So let's divide the top by 12, and guess what you get? You get the old 5.5. So since we're talking about money, we can call that $5.50 for every 1 person. That's the unit rate of the rate, $66 for every 12 people. 66 to 12 is the same as $5.50 for every 1. Okay, let's start playing with these rates a little bit. You got 540 miles per hour. If we wanted to change that to miles per minute, we can. And here's how. Let's represent 400, oh my goodness, how about 540 miles per hour? Let's represent that as a ratio. You have 540 miles for every 1 hour. You start with what you have, and you write what you want. What we want is to change this thing into miles per minute. And the ratio of miles to minutes. We've got to multiply by some conversion factor that is equivalent that will leave us matching miles with minutes. Good thing we already have miles on top, and that's what we're after. So we don't need to change the measurement for distance, but we do need to change the measurement for time. In order to change this, hours here, we need to get rid of the hours. So just like division works, 3 divided by 3 is 1, right? Simplifies to 1. If we put the same thing on top as on the bottom, they will cancel out. But we can't just put those there. We need to have an equivalent statement. What do we know about hours as it relates to, hopefully, minutes? I know that 1 hour is equivalent to 60 minutes. And so this is a great conversion factor for time. 1 hour is the same as 60 minutes. And by golly, we want minutes in our final answer. So that's all we have to do. Take 540 and multiply 1, the answer 540. Take 1 and multiply 60, the answer 60. And this is already set up for us in miles per minute. So we're already there at our final answer. We can simplify a bit, get rid of those zeros. 54 divided by 6 is 9 miles for every 1 minute. That's pretty fast. All right, let's turn up. We've got 3,260 inches in 4 seconds. So that's some rate. We want to convert this rate, though. We want to find an equivalent rate in miles per hour. Okay. Well, what do we have? You always start with what you have, and you've got to write what you want. What we want is outlined right here. Our final answer should be relating the rates of miles per hour. But what we have is something written in inches per second. We've got to multiply by a couple conversion factors in order to get our answer in miles per hour. Okay. Let's start with the idea of time. We don't want seconds. So in order to cancel it out like that, we've got to put seconds on the top in the numerator, so they will cancel. But is there some way we can relate seconds to hours? I don't know, but I can get there slowly if I talk about seconds as they relate to the next best thing. How about minutes? So let's talk about 60 seconds, because I know there's 60 seconds in 1 minute. Is that the unit of time we're after? No. So let's go with another conversion factor here. I don't want minutes, I want them to go away. In order for that to happen, I've got to put minutes up here. Can I relate minutes to the sought-after hours? Yes, we've got 60 minutes in every 1 hour. And by golly, that's what we're after. So we're good as far as our unit for time. Let's multiply another conversion factor in hopes to achieve our miles. Right now we're in inches. We don't want inches though. They're up top in the numerator. Let's place them in the denominator. Instead of inches, can we grow bigger in order to achieve miles? What do I know about inches? I know there's 12 inches for every 1 foot. Good, the inches will go away. Am I in miles? No. But is there some way we can relate feet, because we don't want feet, up there, so let's put it down here. Can we relate feet to miles? By golly, we can. 5,280 feet for every 1 mile. And look at that. We've got miles matched up. Whew, this is going to be a lot of multiplying. All right, everybody remembers their multiplication tables. So in the numerator, you have 3260 times 60 times 60. Everybody knows that's 11,700,036. Wait, 736,000. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so there we are in the numerator, and that's in miles. You go 11,736,000 miles in every 4 times 12 times 5,280. Everybody knows that one is 253,444, and that is in hours. So for every 11 million or so miles you go, it takes you about that many hours. Can we write that simpler? How about a unit rate? In order to achieve a unit rate, you would divide the bottom, or the denominator, by itself, in order to achieve 1 in the denominator. And you divide the numerator by that same number in order to not change anything. And that would result in, doing this in my head, so bear with me, divided by this number in my head is 46 on top. And if we divide the bottom, of course, that's just 1. And this is in miles per hour. Why don't you try this one? Try to change these 13 miles per hour. Try to change it into yards per minute. Multiply by some conversion factors and see if you can convert this rate into an equivalent rate. Good luck. See you tomorrow, or today, or whenever you're watching this.